Moving on then, scam victims are anxiously waiting to see if global bank HSBC will admit it failed to protect customers from fraudsters who tricked them into thinking their accounts had been compromised. The case returns to the federal court for a one-day hearing today, and the outcome could pave the way for a massive financial penalty. National Consumer Affairs reporter Michael Atkin has the details.
This was a particularly nasty scam that ran for over 4 years, and what it was is people would get these text messages claiming that their bank account had been compromised and to call a fraud team so that they could sort it out. But really it was criminals running this so-called fraud operation, and they'd mimicked everything about the HSBC processes, including having HSBC fraud hold music when people called. And so people trusted them and handed over details where their accounts were then defrauded. Sydney woman Sunni lost $50,000 in the scam, and it took her almost a year of fighting the bank to get repaid. But she says that people had huge difficulty with the bank. Many settled for much less than they lost. And they were also locked out of their accounts for extended periods, and the bank took a long time to investigate what happened. Let's hear from her.
It's appalling because they knew about this. They could have prevented so many customers and families losing their money and going through this ordeal and trauma. We want a full apology from HSBC Australia to all its victims in writing and in public, and also to reimburse all the victims for their losses.
So scam victims and a consumer group, in fact, say that the bank failed to do enough to detect and prevent the scam. Why?
Well, it's not just them. They took their complaints to the corporate watchdog ASIC, and ASIC sued the bank over this, over what they call widespread systemic failures. And today in court, we're expected to find out what those failures were in agreed facts between the bank and the regulator. But Stephanie Tonkin from the Consumer Action Law Centre says the way HSBC treated its customers is unacceptable, and it was so bad that actually these normal customers who didn't know one another bonded together and formed a support group in order to be able to fight the bank and to lobby to put pressure on it to do the right thing. Let's hear from Stephanie Tonkin.
For 4 years, there were repeated red flags, the same red flags, because this was the same scam over and over again, hundreds and hundreds of times. The bank was clearly on notice and clearly flailing and unsure what to do and how to stop the scam, but that doesn't mean you continue to take people's money and not protect it. HSBC could have done so much more, and yet they told their customers to their faces that there was nothing that could be done. So they were completely gaslighting their customers.
So, Michael, talk us through what is expected to happen in the court today.
There's a hearing today, and this will be an extraordinary change. So HSBC had previously planned to defend the case. It was scheduled to go to trial, but our understanding is that it's agreed to a statement of agreed facts with the regulator, which will detail exactly what failings it did have in terms of detecting and preventing scams, but not only that, about how long it took to investigate customer complaints and whether it locked people out of their accounts for far too long. And advocates say that there should be a stiff financial penalty awarded in this case to send a message to the rest of the banking sector that this kind of conduct is unacceptable. We won't get a penalty today, but there may be discussion from both sides about what sort of penalty might be appropriate. So it's a massive turnaround in the bank's position today, and it will be fascinating to see what unfolds in court. I did ask for an interview from HSBC. It declined, saying it couldn't comment while it's trying to resolve the case.